Hey, 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 and welcome to the Castles, Capes, and Clones Vlogcast, where we discuss the issues of the day in the Disney universe. In this episode, we're going to be talking about the Eternals trailer, the Jungle Cruise trailer, some Star Wars thoughts on by sequel director J.J. Abrams, and more. We are Castles, Capes, and Clones, where we discuss everything in the Disney universe. If you haven't already, please subscribe to our channel, hit the bell for notifications, and do like this post, as it really does help us out. And I'm Lauren, and I'm with my cousin and co-pilot Rich.
Hello.
How's it going?
Going okay. Had some technical difficulties. Don't know what happened.
Yeah. And if anybody's out there, just type a message and let us know if you're here. So anyway, I watched all of Modoc on Hulu, and I have to say that I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Nice. I haven't had a
Yeah,
chance yet. I forgot it was on actually.
yeah, I did too. Until I was watching, I think somebody gave the review, and I'm like, when's that coming on again? And then it's like, has been streaming since the 21st, and I'm like, oh. So I just went and pretty much binged it in one sitting. And it was 25 minutes and 10 episodes. So,
Okay.
good times.
Nice.
What was I going to say? How are you doing?
I'm doing okay. So Marvel or Hasbro had a Marvel presentation today,
Ooh la la.
and they had basically 7 figures from the Age of Apocalypse comic storyline,
Mm-hmm.
and I
Mm.
bought all 7.
Oh, you did?
Well, because Marvel Legends has usually in a set, like a wave,
Uh-huh.
a build a figure,
Right.
right? And normally I'm like, whatever. But this one, well, so the Age of Apocalypse storyline was a big event in the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
Is that my saying that makes it feel so old? Like in the 90s, which
I
in my
know.
mind doesn't seem that long ago, but it's literally like 30 years ago.
Yeah. Something
so,
like that.
so
Yeah. Crazy.
um but like it's one of my favorite ones because it's like almost like an alternate version of the Marvel world, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where, spoiler alert, I mean, Charles Xavier was killed by his son before he formed the X-Men and before Magneto became, the big bad Magneto. And in
Mm-hmm.
this timeline, with Charles Xavier gone, Magneto is the one who kind of takes on his role. And so the whole universe is all kind of backwards and weird and whatever. Like
Yeah.
The Summers brothers are like the work from Mr. Sinister. Like Sabretooth is a good guy. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
Cyclops is an actual Cyclops because him and Wolverine got into it, and Wolverine cut out one of his eyes.
Oh, wow.
So it's all these cool things, but I love the character designs of everyone.
Mm-hmm.
And so this wave has Legion. So it's the first time they had Legion with the whole
Nice.
Wayne Static haircut.
Right.
Magneto, right, from this line. Rogue from this line. Kitty Pryde from this line. Cyclops. I can't remember who else now. But the Build-A-Figure is Colossus from this
Oh,
storyline. And
cool.
he's got this, like, pirate look,
Yeah.
you know. So basically, you can't have Kitty Pryde without Colossus. So
Right. Of
uh,
course.
I needed Colossus. So
Yes.
I got them all.
Nice.
They don't come in
Very
until
cool.
October, but
Hey,
yeah,
but at least you know you have them, so that's
yeah,
good.
yeah. So
All right. Well, let's head into the news. We've got a lot to talk about today. So, First off, the Jungle Cruise. Disney released a new trailer for the Jungle Cruise, I think today.
Yeah.
And did you get a chance to watch the trailer?
Yeah.
Yeah, what'd you think?
It's like I want to I liked it. I mean, I'm gonna watch this regardless whether I liked it or not. But like I was thinking about it. I'm like, it's across. It feels to me like if you combined the Mummy franchise, Pirates of the Caribbean, and National Treasure.
Yeah, that's
what
exactly
it
what I
feels
was
like
thinking.
to me.
Yeah, I was thinking exactly the same way. I didn't quite have the Mummy in there, but when you say it, it makes perfect sense.
Right.
But I said it's got that National Treasure vibe. It's got that Pirates vibe. So,
like there's a lot more like supernaturally. I mean, I figured there's going to be, but it looks like there's a lot of it, and like I don't know. It looks like everything I see always intrigues me even more.
yeah.
But I mean, one, I'm a big Rock fan and Emily Blunt fan, so I would watch whatever they're in anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, like the chemistry gives off the kind of Mummy, Rachel Weisz and what's his name, Brendan Fraser vibe, right? The kind of journey they're on feels like like a Mummy, but part exploration, so kind of more National Treasure than Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
But the way it's like filmed and like how it looks feels very Pirates of the Caribbean.
Right.
Especially the first two.
Yeah. I definitely get that.
Yeah.
Those vibes for sure. You're gonna have to excuse me. I have dogs barking in the background. My mom is having a meeting over at her house, so she asked if the dogs can stay over here, and I said no. I'm recording a podcast, and the next thing I know, the dogs are over here.
So, of course.
So we get to hear dog barking.
Maybe they're just giving their opinions on the Jungle Cruise.
What did you say?
So maybe they're just giving their opinions on the Jungle Cruise.
Yeah, I think that's it.
Right.
All right. Well, in other Jungle Cruise news, this time about the attraction, the Disneyland update is going to be opening on July 16th, and then it will open later this summer at Walt Disney World's Magic Kingdom. I cannot wait.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorite attractions, I think, Jungle Cruise. It's just one of those, like, you can just sit in, chill, listen to the funny jokes, and I love Adventureland in general, but I do like the attraction quite a bit.
Yeah, I'm always down to go ride that ride. I'm looking forward to see what they've changed. The only thing that's sad is that, like, since we can't go anytime we want, I don't know when I'm gonna go see it because it opens up in July. So I don't know. I might not be able to see it till like fall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
ID Hung W, welcome. You said you can't wait to go to Disneyland. Me neither. I'm going next month on the 7th and 8th. Okay.
Not too far. Yeah.
Not too far. Very close.
Like 2 weeks? 1 week? 2 weeks?
Like about 2 weeks, yeah.
Okay. Be exciting.
Yep. No, I cannot wait. Okay, so there is a new Winnie the Pooh musical, like a stage musical, that is going to debut in the fall. I can imagine that's going to be very sweet. I wonder if they're going to have people in costumes, or if it's just going to be kind of people dressed like as in a bound kind of thing.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, because it'd be weird. I mean, they could do it both different ways.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I remember when I was a kid, I watched the Chipmunks on
Mm-hmm.
stage, and that was pretty much. I mean, because it was pretty much people in like character costumes, kind of like you see at Disneyland, but their lines are just over the speaker, so
Yeah,
don't necessarily need to see them flap their mouths. And you bought it; it was Alvin, Simon, and Theodore.
exactly.
But I don't know. What would you prefer they do?
I would almost prefer they do bounding, just to kind of like do something a little bit different, and would also allow us to see the expressions on their face
Right.
when they're singing the songs. So I almost would like to see a bounding version. I know that a lot of people would disagree with me, but that's the way I feel.
I guess I would have to see it, like see how they did it,
Hmm.
right? And then I guess really who. Because the thing about Winnie the Pooh is that he has a very distinctive voice.
Hmm.
That's very hard to do, right?
Welcome, my five-star life. Thank you for being a new subscriber, and we just shot the news for the next hour and a half or so. So we hope you enjoy yourself, and just wonder however long you can stay is fine with us. We just appreciate you coming in.
Yep.
And same with you, ID Hung W.
Yeah, I don't. You know what I mean? Like Winnie the Pooh is such a like, like if it's bound, like how do you portray Winnie the Pooh?
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
true.
Um, More so than most other ones. Like, and even then, like he's got also a very distinctive way of talking,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah, you'd have to have somebody that can do that kind of voice,
Yeah,
and just do it well. I think you definitely have to have the mannerisms of the character.
I mean, I guess the other way they can do it would be similar to like Little Mermaid and Lion King,
Hmm.
where or like when we're at Disneyland, how we see uh oh my god, I'm gonna blank on his name, the little boy from Coco,
Miguel.
Miguel,
Yeah.
where he's like more like a pretty good sized marionette,
Hmm.
and have that similar to how Avenue Q is,
Oh, yeah, that would be interesting
so
too.
that they one, if you have an adult or like Christopher Robin's there, which I'm gonna assume has to be part of it at some point, that can be a
Hmm.
normal person, but then all the other characters can be the size they should be, but still having someone actually acting as them.
Hmm.
So that's a possibility, I think. Because
My five-star life, as long, however long you can stay. We don't want you to get too sleepy.
yeah, or fall asleep to the soothing sounds of our voices.
Yes, exactly. Okay, so I like that idea of the puppets as well. I think it worked well for Avenue Q and um, like Olaf in the
Yeah,
Frozen
yeah.
show.
Because
Yeah.
they like, even when I see Miguel in the parks, like even though I obviously I can tell that it's a guy standing,
Hmm.
manipulating the marionette, I buy it,
Yeah.
right?
It's fun. It's just fun to. That's what I'm talking about. Like, just do something different instead of like people in costumes.
Yeah, I'd rather have that than like big head costume
Right.
characters. That's fine for the parks. That's cool,
Yeah.
but I think there's way too much that's needed to be expressed
Hmm.
in a stage play. Yeah, but We'll see.
All right. Yeah. Well, here's some sad news. Samuel Wright, who was the voice of Sebastian in The Little Mermaid, passed away. And so, yeah, it's sad to, see legends pass away.
Yeah, it was kind of sad. Like, he's such a big part of my childhood.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Sebastian's one of my favorite characters of all time. So.
Yeah. Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, I used to have a huge Sebastian the Crab plush.
Ah.
I don't know where it is now. Now that I'm thinking about it, like, what happened to it? It's kind of. I know, right? I don't know where it went to. I'm kind of like, where did that guy go? Like, it was like one of those really big ones.
Yeah.
Like bigger than a pillow.
Oh wow.
Yeah. I think it was a gift to me. I'm pretty sure it was a gift because I really like Sebastian.
Yeah.
So now I gotta find him. Sebastian, where are you?
Yeah, Sebastian. All right. Well, in Disney Plus news, Hamilton apparently was the thing that solidified it as Netflix's biggest threat, which I can see because everybody and their dog subscribe to Disney Plus. When Hamilton came out, then you had your Mandalorians, and then you had your WandaVisions, and then you had your Falcon and the Winter Soldiers, and so I think it's just Hamilton. Yeah, I think shot it to the top, but at the same time, it was other shows that help really bring it over the top.
Yeah, I think, and one was like, that show was always selling out. It was hard to get, for a lot of people, it's really hard to go see that show, right? Because unless you're like in Chicago or New York, where it's playing regularly, you had to wait for the traveling show. And then when it's a traveling show, it's even harder because, it's only there for a limited time.
Right.
I remember when it came through California, it was hard to get tickets, or they were really expensive. Luckily, I got to see it in Chicago when I went to go to Star Wars Celebration in 2019.
Yeah.
But speaking of which, it is coming to, now that shows are opening.
Yep.
It's coming to Hollywood in August.
Yeah, I don't know what happened to our tickets because we did have tickets.
Oh, that's right.
And I don't know if my sister Olivia, bought the tickets, decided to just outright cancel or what. I can't remember because at first it kept getting rescheduled, and then I don't know since then what she decided to do. So hopefully I'll be able to see it someday. I'd love to see a live performance.
Yeah, I mean, like the Disney Plus show is really good. I mean, it's great.
Oh yeah,
great performance and a great play, but yeah, it's one of those things where if you can see it live, it was great to see the original cast in that series, but I like before I saw it in Chicago, like I knew all the songs, I knew all the inflection that all the original cast brought. But it was interesting how other actors convey the characters and also sing the songs.
Yeah.
And the stage work is really, really awesome. So.
My 5-star life says Hamilton is such a great musical. I would never have seen it if it wasn't for Disney Plus. I listen to the songs every day. Me too.
Yeah.
Me too. Good taste. Good taste there.
Sebastian and Hamilton. Yep.
Yeah.
Good taste.
All right. So there is a. Do you agree? Do you guys think it's worth getting the Disney Plus? Yes,
Yes.
I definitely do. I watch it all the time. Even if there's not new programs on, I'll watch. Like right now, I'm just randomly picking out animated movies that I haven't seen in a while. Sometimes I'll pick a live action. So there's a whole lot of stuff on there. If you're into documentaries, National Geographic has a huge section
Yeah.
on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
So there's so much on there that I can't even.
Yeah,
I
there's
mean,
no
I
way to see
definitely
it
agree
all.
with.
It's like my father, um, he lives with my sister and her family, and they have Disney Plus, and he never watched it because he just thought it was all like Disney cartoons stuff, and then he found out that National Geographic is on it, and then he starts watching.
Yeah,
It's National Geographic stuff. So
yeah, that's why I'm trying to get my mom's husband to watch the National Geographic stuff.
Yeah,
So,
it's not just animated stuff. I mean, there's a
right.
lot of live action shows, a lot of the movies from the Disney library.
Yeah,
that's
and
not
if you're
always
into Marvel or Star Wars,
yeah, all the Star Wars stuff is on there. Like literally all the Star Wars stuff is on there. Like it's this missing droids, which I believe is coming soon.
Yeah. Hopefully.
Yeah. So, and all the Marvel stuff, like even like old shows from Marvel on there, like like the 70s and 80s stuff, and also some great documentaries on all IPs, like Star Wars documentaries, Marvel documentaries are really good, Pixar, Disney, they're all there's a lot of great content on Disney Plus.
Exactly. Let's see. Some of the chat is saying that My 5 Star Life says that they haven't seen all of the Marvel movies, so they're using it to see that. And ID Hung W says the same thing. He thought it was all Disney stuff, but he didn't. He now knows that there's National Geographic, which sounds fantastic. Great! I'm glad that we could tell you about something new in the programming.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think you're locked. So if you just some sub for even just a month, or find a free month trial,
yeah,
take a look for yourself, see what's in their library. It's a vast library, I tell you.
Yeah.
And then if it's not your cup of tea,
then you can unsubscribe. But yeah, for me, I'm a lifer.
Yeah. I mean, we have a whole website and YouTube channel devoted to everything.
Yeah.
So makes it easy for us to do this podcast and stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Because everything's in one place.
All right, so let's see. I love the Disney documentaries, like the Imagineering story.
That is
so
such a
good.
great series.
Yeah, and what is the one about props?
Oh my!
I can't remember, but you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, they go through like a specific movie's props and kind of find out where they are now, give you a history of them.
Yes,
it's really good. But yeah, the Imagineering story is a great documentary.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
All right. Well, the comedian Joe Coy, he has a lot of specials on Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
He has a show that that's in the works called Yosef, and it's going to be written by Randall Park, who is Jimmy Woo in the Marvel Universe, as people might know. He was in oh my God,
Fresh Off the Boat,
but I cannot remember his character's name.
Oh, I don't remember.
But he was a dad.
He was a dad.
And yeah, he's a very funny guy.
Yeah, he is.
And WandaVision. He was in WandaVision.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
yeah.
Joseph. So the Joseph is the name of Joe Coy's son. He always tells stories about his son growing up. So much so,
Mm.
he's always a character uh, in all of the stand-ups. But
Mm-hmm.
like I follow him on Instagram and stuff. Like they do a lot of stuff together, so it's kind of
Yeah.
cool that they go on this. Like as much as he tells jokes about his son, you can tell he really loves him because like every time I see him traveling, his son's with him. And
Right.
now his son's like gotta be at least like late high school. Uh, so I wonder if it's going to be more about kind of based on his view of his son's life.
Yeah, maybe.
So um, I don't know. And then Randall Park's a great, not even just a great comedian, but he's also a great writer. So
Yeah, it's very funny.
I am
Very
looking
funny.
forward. I'm looking forward to that. And one, if it's going to be about his son, it's going to be a Filipino show.
Yep. I know that's
Right?
another thing I'm really excited about. So,
Yeah. So
all right. Well, the last piece of Disney news that we got before moving on to Marvel, they have now posted all the things that you can watch on Disney Plus in June. So we'll just quickly go over some of this.
which might be
June
good for
4th.
you to hear because then you can see what's
Yeah,
coming.
and then you can hear. Yeah, you can see if any of this programming sounds good to you.
Yep.
Ryan the Last Dragon is going to be coming. So it's been on there as Premiere Access,
Right.
but now you can watch it without having Premiere Access.
Yep.
So that'll be fun for a lot of people who've been
And
waiting.
it's a good movie. So give it some love.
Yeah, definitely. Season 2 of Amphibia, Season 3 of Muppet Babies, the Disney Junior version, Season 3 of Gordon Ramsay Uncharted, again, a National Geographic thing.
Mm-hmm.
Ice Age, Drawn to the Dawn of the Dinosaurs, which is me. Us Again, X-Men Origins, Wolverine. Then you got your High School Musical, the musical series, Big Shot, Star Wars: The Bad Batch, and Marvel Studios Legends, which I'm assuming is going to be about Loki.
Probably.
Because on June 9th, Loki comes out.
Yarp.
June 11th, we've got Season 4 of Puppy Dog Pals, The Happiest Millionaire, which is great because I've been wanting to watch that film. Season 3 again of Gordon Ramsay Uncharted. The Incredible Dr. Pol, Season 18. Wow. Zenimation Season 2 premiere, which is, I really enjoyed the Zenimation, the first season. Big Shot, episode 109, High School Musical, the musical series, 205, Star Wars, The Bad Batch, 107. Then you got June 16th, Loki. June 19th, Luca, the movie from Pixar. That's coming out, and I believe that is just coming out as Disney Plus and not Premiere Access. So everybody will be able to access Luca. Dino Ranch Season 1. Disney just roll with it. Season 2. Another Gordon Ramsay Uncharted. Heartland Docks. Big Shot, episode 110. High School Musical, the musical series, 206. Star Wars Bad Batch, episode 108. June 23rd is Loki, episode 3. Then you've got Disney Bunk, season 4. PJ Masks, season 4. Another Gordon Ramsay Uncharted. Running Wild with Bear Grylls, which is really good show. Season 6. When Sharks Attack, season 1 through 6. The Mysterious Benedict Society, episode 101. I'm looking forward to that one.
Yep.
Wolfgang, High School Musical, the musical series, episode 207. Star Wars: The Bad Batch, episode 109. And Loki, episode 4. and my 5-star life is looking forward to the Loki show. I'm not crazy into the Marvel universe like everyone is, but she likes it, and I totally agree. I mean, I think there's something for everybody in the Marvel universe. Like, you may not like the whole universe, but I think that there's stuff out there that people would definitely like.
Yeah.
So it sounds like a good list. Okay, now heading into Marvel news. There was a new trailer for The Eternals that came out, and I thought it was very interesting. It started off very much with Nomad Land vibes, very kind of like neutral color palette, darker, people weathered and aged, and that apparently takes place thousands of years ago when the Eternals first come to Earth. And I thought it was really kind of cool, and it was neat seeing them in their costumes.
Yeah, it I'm not familiar with those characters, so I couldn't tell you. I mean, they're all kind of based on, well, not all of them, but a lot of them are based on different gods in our mythology.
Mm-hmm.
And by our, I mean just human mythology, so different cultures, mythology, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, I'm wondering what brings them out and why they're decided to, because they say in the trailer, we've been kind of just watching for so long and they've not stepped into the lives of the humans until now.
Yeah.
They've like been among us, but what? Because if you think about it, the invasion in New York didn't bring them out. Thanos getting rid of
didn't bring them out.
Didn't bring them out. So what is it that brings them out this time?
That's what I want to know.
What is that about? But
and maybe it's not getting involved that makes them think that they should have gotten involved.
Yeah, maybe it's one of those things where, like, just staying out of it weighs on their souls. They watch so much of this, and maybe they're just fed up and just be like, no, you know what? And it can be just like they've been part. If they're not just watching, but it looks like they're among us, like just observing, but living among us, kind of. And maybe they just kind of, fell in love with humankind.
Yeah.
So
I think so.
Some are kind of like the angel Lucifer story on, just favoring humans over the angels and, blah, 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 blah. So, I mean, it could be as simple as that, or it could be another galactic, universe-wide.
Right, we never know. But I know that they're going to come up with some reason.
Oh, yeah.
Why? Because they added that little dialogue with Sprite at the end where he's like, now that Captain Rogers and Iron Man are gone, who's going to lead the Avengers? So it's like, okay, so they're aware of what's happening on Earth,
Yes.
And they wouldn't just leave that and go, oh, like nobody else is going to think about that.
Right.
WandaVision is a wonderful show. I agree. And yes, it looks fantastic.
Yeah, WandaVision kind of opened, I mean, like probably from a lot of people, the fact that a Marvel movie / show can be anything.
Yes.
Because that came out of nowhere. I think that's the thing
with Mandalorian or Star Wars. A lot of people who were not Star Wars fans, when Mandalorian came out, all of a sudden they're Star Wars fans.
Yeah.
Which is great.
Yeah. Just going to be like, like comics in general, if you're a comic book fan, doesn't mean you like every single comic that comes out.
No.
For the longest time, when I was a comic fan, the only Marvel titles I picked up were the X-Men titles. So I didn't really even pick up I didn't really know as much about the Avengers and those characters. And my knowledge of Spider-Man came from the TV shows, the cartoons, when I was a kid. But I never really followed the comics.
Yeah.
But it's okay. You can pick up whatever your titles you want, follow that. Sometimes there's a big crossover, and then you might have pick up another comic or two. But then you can go right back to following your favorite characters. Like the same thing with Marvel movies. Like, you technically don't need to watch every single one. If you don't like Thor, you don't have to watch Thor. If you watch the Avengers movies, he's in it, but it's not like you need to know exactly everything that happened in the Thor movies.
Right.
So, but it does enhance it.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so Secret Invasion, which is a series coming to Disney Plus, it has added Christopher McDonald to the cast, and he's a character actor. I remember him from Thelma and Louise as the abusive husband of oh my god, I can't remember which one. I think it was I think it was Thelma.
Which one's Thelma? Is that Susan
Thelma
Sarandon?
was Gina Davis.
Oh, Gina Davis.
Whoever Gina Davis was. I can't remember anymore. Oh my god. And I love that movie so much.
I don't remember.
So that's cool.
Yeah, he usually plays a kind of villainy kind of, he's always the antagonist, pretty much. For other people might know him as Shooter McGavin from Happy Gilmore, or
right.
He was the father of one of the guys in Fanboys. He's a lot of stuff. His name you might not know, but if you see him, I showed a little picture of him, you know who he is. You've seen something with him.
Exactly. Yeah.
But it does. I wonder if he's gonna every time I see him though, he's a character actor, but every time I see him, he's I don't trust him because he's always plays that character you don't trust. So I wonder, if in a turn, he plays a totally likable good guy, so to speak.
Yeah.
So.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us, My 5-Star Life. We really appreciate it, and we hope you come back. We do this every Thursday.
Yep.
At 6:30. So, yeah, definitely come back again.
Have a good night.
Yeah. Okay. So, the Disney California Adventure, they have released a map of Avengers Campus, and there's going to be there was some news regarding the Spider-Man ride that they are doing a boarding pass like they do with Rise of the Resistance.
Virtual queue.
You can only do it once a day.
Yeah.
So now that makes me nervous. I'm like, oh man. I hope to be able to get on it.
Yeah.
But there's going to be a lot for me to see. There's a lot of shopping to do.
You bought park hoppers for both days? Or only single?
I bought both days park hoppers.
So at least you have two chances.
Yeah.
Right. So.
Yeah, because I can always come back at 1 and try for it on the next day. So we will see. I'm going to try both days and hopefully get in both days. So.
Yeah, hopefully. Man. But yeah.
I can't wait. All right. Denai Guerrera is going to be returning to star as Okoye in a solo spin-off at Disney Plus. 10:30 in New Jersey. All right.
Oh. Hello, New Jersey.
Well, yeah. Maybe we should have this a little earlier. I don't know.
I can't.
Oh, you can. Okay, never mind. Sorry. But anytime you can join us, we love it. Oh, that's nice. All right, so tonight Ferrera's going to be in a solo spin-off series, an Okoye one, on Disney Plus. I mean, she's perfect because she's headlined a show herself before. So on Walking Dead, and that Cal Adventure map looks exciting, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I cannot wait to go either. What do you think of her doing a normal solo series?
It's interesting that they say solo series.
Mm-hmm.
Because, you know, she's like the captain or whatever, the head of the Dora Milaje. So why, if it's not, because there's also the Black Panther Wakanda series. Yeah. So that's not this, since it's a solo one. So right. Is it, did she leave, and is it because of whatever happens in Black Panther 2?
Could be.
So I'm really interested to see why she has a solo. Not that she has one, because it's fine, but like, because she's part of a warrior army, right?
Yeah.
And so, you know, if they said she was in a lead of a show about them, that makes sense. But it's a solo show, so it leads me to believe that she's somehow on her own, so to speak, or she's like kind of like how Lupita Nyong'o's character was, because she was like out and about doing missions on her own. So I wonder if she follows the same kind of thing, where she's just out doing things for Wakanda, but like more as like what Lupita Nyong'o's character was doing.
Yeah. Yeah, it'll be really interesting to see what happens. All right, Aaron Taylor Johnson has apparently landed the role of Kraven the Hunter in the movie that they're developing, which I think is really interesting. Is what if, you know, all of these pieces suddenly start falling into place, and the Sonyverse becomes part of the MCU? What happens here? Because as we know, he was Quicksilver in Avengers.
I mean, it's going to happen in the Eternals.
Yeah, but Gemma Chan was kind of blue before,
and so Quicksilver looks nothing like this picture I'm showing. I've showed. He looks nothing like Quicksilver.
Wait, what Quicksilver?
Huh?
Wait, what do you mean? In Eternals?
No, like you're saying, Gemma Chan looks blue,
right?
So she looks different. Kraven looks nothing like Quicksilver. I'm saying that him in like the way he looks like in the Avengers, and I just showed a picture of him normal. Looks nothing like him. Like it looks like two different people to me. Is what I'm saying. Okay. So like, unless he has white hair again, and whatever, like, and also like Kraven, give him like he's got a beard and whatever, like it. I don't like the picture I showed on the stream. Looks nothing like Quicksilver. Like I couldn't tell you that they were the same actor. To tell you the truth.
Okay.
So,
all right.
I can buy that as not being a big thing. Because to me, Gemma Chan looks the same except one's blue.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I think it's a little bit more varied, but. I'll just have to look at it. I didn't get to see the image, so which is fine. All right. Well, Spider-Man: No Way Home. Again, you know, there's all of these rumors about the Tobey Maguire verse and the Andrew Garfield verse being in No Way Home, and now they're saying that the same visual effects teams are going to be used in No Way Home for uh, the Tobey Maguire verse and the Andrew Garfield verse. Interesting.
I mean, I feel like it's also people reaching.
Yeah.
I mean, because the super like the Arrowverse folks, same people who did
Mhm.
Smallville, so it's not like but they were like tied together somehow.
Right.
I think it's just a superhero um, VFX group. I mean, if they used Lucasfilm, would you say that two different movies were Star Wars, like related?
Hmm.
You know what I mean? I think it's that, but at the same time, we do know that the Tobey Maguire verse is in it because Alfred Molina already said that.
Hmm.
So what we don't know for sure, I mean, I don't think it's been officially, or I don't even think Jamie Foxx has said it.
No.
But if he's in it as that version of Electro, then so is the Andrew Garfield verse.
Hmm.
You know, and it still might be true that Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield aren't in the movie, but their universes are.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, I think it's just like the way the Hollywood works. Not every like a lot of these things are also because you look through the credits sometimes there's different effects houses that a lot of productions use.
Hmm.
So it could just be the fact that they're a established effects house that does happen to also work
I
on
think Marvel
Spider-Man.
also likes to mess with its fans, like
Plus, this
with
is
the
also Sony, so like Sony still did
right.
the first all the other Spider-Man franchises, so they have
Hmm.
experience working with them. So
Yeah.
you know, it makes sense.
Right.
So,
All right. Well, Tom Hiddleston is in a Entertainment Weekly video thing. He looks back at 10 years of playing Loki in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and I thought it was very well done. This I don't know what you call it, not an expose.
no, it's just like an online magazine
Yeah.
um, speaking to. They always do. There's a lot of these kind of things where like they take an actor and they go, let's reminisce about your role throughout your career,
Mhm.
and that's what he did.
Yeah. And I think that it's amazing because no matter what you think of Dark World, the second Thor movie, the parts with Loki and Thor were really good. And there's always been this consistency of brotherhood and kind of working with and against each other
Mm-hmm.
in the movies that I thought that has really appealed to me as a MCU
Yeah, um,
fan.
I like that he still knew his lines from some of the older movies.
Yeah.
Like he would just so like this video he talks about specific scenes that he thinks are the most iconic for his character in each movie he's done.
Hmm.
I mean, obviously, this is a build up to the Loki series that's about to come out, but
Yeah.
you can tell that he has a lot of reverence for playing this character,
Oh yeah.
right? I mean, he even talks about how he actually auditioned for Thor, and they have a little clip of him in that audition.
Hmm.
And if you watch it, you're like, that looks weird because it's
Yeah.
literally Loki
That's
as
Thor.
Thor.
Yeah. It
Um,
was.
but like Loki's turned out to be one of my favorite characters in the MCU.
Oh yeah.
You know,
Definitely.
and
That's
I'm
why whenever Thor gets like a level of hate, I'm like, you don't realize there are so many people who love Thor for Loki, and there are a lot of people who love Thor, and so I
Hiddlestoners.
don't really get the hate.
I mean, it's it's like one of those like the Pixar movies. There's a lot of hate for Cars, but
yeah,
I liked Cars. I like Cars 3. Cars 2 wasn't my favorite.
No.
But it's still like a decent movie. Like I love Thor. I love Thor Ragnarok. Thor Dark World. I think I like half of it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things that came out of Dark World. That propelled both Thor and Loki to the characters they became. It's part of Loki's redemption. Without Thor Dark World, you don't get the gravity of what happens in Endgame.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And yeah, I don't know why there's a lot of hate for Thor.
Right.
I find them, some people just don't like humor.
I guess not.
That's always a big criticism, Marvel movies, so much humor in it. I'm like, why is that a bad thing? I feel like it's a bad thing if you don't have levity in something. Like, even the Captain America movies aren't like comedic romps, but there's comedy in there. Star Wars has always been that way. From the inception. So including some funny bits in the sequel trilogy is nothing new. I mean, there's a third movie with a bunch of teddy bears in it.
Yeah.
It's the world is not always this drama and comedy. It's a mix, and you need that mix to tell compelling stories, human stories, even when it's a tree and a raccoon.
Exactly. All right. Well, Oscar Isaac has been teasing us on Instagram. Like he put up all of this stuff about him working out for the role of Moon Knight, and recently he had like a bunch of sketches of Moon Knight in back of him, and he did a very rich style thing where he only did his eyes, and I can't remember what exactly he said.
So he said something like, I think he said something like, "We are Moon Knight."
Yeah, we are Moon Knight. Yeah, and I thought that was really kind of cool. I like the fact that he's embracing this world so much.
Yeah, I am looking forward to. I'm just looking forward to seeing what he looks like. Because he's got Moon Knight's a very, on paper, he's a very compelling and very distinctive character. That it's one of those what it feels like it'd be hard to convey in real life.
Yeah.
But that said, Marvel has been able to do that with every single character.
Right.
Again, Mysterio. Mysterio has a big fishbowl on his head, and he looks ridiculous. But when you see Jake Gyllenhaal on the screen,
it just works.
It works. Even like Thor and all of them have gone through different iterations of their costumes. They all work, but they all you can tell it's the costume, like it's the look from the comic books. Something they shied away from in the 90s with the X-Men movies. They're like, they even made fun of it in the movie. Like, what do you expect us to wear, yellow spandex? And it's like, yeah. Like, I fully expect the Marvel Studio MCU version of Wolverine to appear in either that yellow suit or the yellow and brown suit.
I hope so. I really hope.
With the hair. Like, go for it.
Yeah.
Go for it.
Exactly.
And even Loki. Loki, if you look at his comic version, his horns are ridiculous on his helmet. But when you see it in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, you're like, that is the God of Mischief.
It just works.
It works. They know how to do that. So.
Exactly.
So I'm looking to. I like the big thing about Moon Knight is that hood. and how that sits on him.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm looking forward to seeing Oscar Isaac in action as Moon Knight.
Right.
Weekly, and then you can tune into this channel, our YouTube channel, because we'll do a weekly deep dive.
Yep. All right. So Jacques Schaeffler has signed a 3-year deal with Disney and Marvel Studios. And for those who don't know who Jacques Schaeffler is, she is the showrunner for WandaVision. And of course, they're going to want her back. I was watching a few interviews with her, and she really, knows how to run a show. And I'm excited to see what she does in the future.
Yeah, she is an integral part of bringing WandaVision. And yeah, I'll be interested to see what projects they give her.
Yeah. I definitely want to know.
I mean, it's how long is that deal? Like a 3-year deal for Marvel Studios. Yeah. So I'm pretty sure everything that we know of has a showrunner / director, right? Showrunner. So I'm now wondering what else could be on the works.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
Right.
Maybe the Sequoia solo series. Who knows?
Oh yeah, that could be a good one.
Yep.
Dazzler. I don't know.
Dazzler. Yeah, Dazzler.
Squirrel Girl.
All right. Well, the last piece of our Marvel news is that Deadpool director Tim Miller. He was talking about Ryan Reynolds' character in the MCU. And he said, I think Ryan Reynolds' take on the character and the way he embraces the particular kind of insanity, even if you said that he's not going to say 4-letter words, would still be there. He's still that character, and you can take the R-rated parts out of it if you wanted, and it would still be Ryan Reynolds. I mean, still be Deadpool if Ryan was doing it. And I agree.
Yes, you can do an R-rated Deadpool movie. You bring him into a movie with all the other characters, and he can still fit. Because I mean, like, if you read the comics, he does it all the time. Like, he's constantly breaking the third wall, fourth wall, third wall, whatever.
Yeah.
And so I can see him in a lot of movies, or like even an Avengers type movie, where every scene with him breaks the third wall.
Right.
And like, even if he swears, you can just bleep it, and it makes sense in his world that he's bleeped. Yeah. Right? Because he knows he's in a movie. He knows that he's like this character. And they can make it work well, because they do it in the comics all the time. Like, even in the cartoon shows, they brought Deadpool into one of the Spider-Man animated shows, and it worked.
Right.
That's still aimed towards kids, but it's still Deadpool. Like, even without the swears, it's still Deadpool. It's all about his attitude.
Yeah.
And Ryan Reynolds pretty much is Wade Wilson. Like, he is that character. So he knows that character, and he can make it work in a PG-13 world.
Totally.
So I just want to see him and Spider-Man, him and Tom Holland.
Yeah, I just want to see him integrated.
In a thing.
Yeah.
And bring Colossus in.
Yes. All right. So in Lucasfilm news, there are more photos from the set of Andor emerging, and a lot of the same old. But did you see anything in particular that was interesting to you?
I mean, it's in a place called Black Park, which I totally forgot to look up where that is. But I mean, it's like a forest, kind of jungle-y forest place. So I don't know. I mean, that's interesting. There's like different environments. So
yeah.
But nothing like that stood out as like, oh my god, that's so Star Wars. It's
Right.
kind of looks like the queue for Rise of Resistance.
Rise of Resistance. Yeah. Pretty much. Pretty
Right.
much. Okay, on a recent podcast, Zack Snyder of Justice League fame mentioned that he pitched a Star Wars standalone film to Kathleen Kennedy while they were looking for a director for Episode 7. What do you think about that? Would he have made a good Star Wars?
He would have made a good-looking Star Wars film. Very stylized, but I mean, I'm torn because I don't hate Zack Snyder. Right?
No, I'm just kidding.
I liked Watchmen. I liked I actually like Sucker Punch. Like, I like his style when it fits what he's wanting to portray. His style fits The Watchmen. It did not fit Justice League.
Yeah. That, I think, is my issue with Zack Snyder, is that it's like, I just wish that he had let it go. You know what I mean? Like, to say, that was a movie that was made, but instead, you had all these people interested in seeing it, and I watched it for sure.
Yeah, so did I.
And of course, there's going to be a lot of people interested in that film, but I don't know. I kind of felt like, okay, so they brought Joss Whedon in to do a job, and he did it, and whether you liked it or not, it was a complete film, and I just say, just leave it there.
Yeah, I feel like, it just didn't click with mass audiences. Yes, there is a definite group of people that love the Snyderverse. Right. But a movie with Superman and Batman did not break box office records. That should have happened. I'm still waiting for that day. Like, I want to watch a DC film in the same reverence that I have for any Marvel movie or show.
Yeah.
Like, and I wasn't the biggest Marvel fan when all this started. I didn't like Iron Man. I didn't really follow Captain Rogers or, Captain America. I knew characters here and there. My whole Marvel tie was Spider-Man and X-Men. Right. But, 10 years later, I'm like, I love the Marvel universe. Like, every time I see something about Marvel, that Marvel Studio logo pops up, I'm excited.
Me too. I get so excited.
Where I see the DC logo come up in the movie, I'm anxious and a little bit
I don't know
concerned and like, am I gonna love this? Because I have way more love for DC characters than I do for Marvel characters, and I just want.
Yeah, I don't know if I would say the same, but
yeah.
You're right on one of us.
Nice. But like, I just want to watch a DC movie where I feel happy that I've seen it.
Yep, me too.
Even a Batman movie where I feel happy I saw it.
Right.
Even though he's the darker one. But
go ahead.
This is like, so on Zack Snyder and Star Wars. I would watch a Zack Snyder Star Wars movie if it's a standalone, not a saga movie. I think he can tell a visually compelling original story, which is what he had. It wasn't. They were looking for someone to take over or do a part of the saga. He wanted to do a standalone, very Kurosawa story, which I'm intrigued. And I think he's going to take that story. He already said he's going to take that story he wanted to pitch and make it into his own story. So we're going to see what that is So whatever
Right.
sci-fi movie he's going to do, that is the story he would have told in the Star Wars universe. So I'm curious
Yeah.
to see what that was.
All right.
And like what I would love from the Star Wars universe, kind of like The Mandalorian. Like it was like it's in Star Wars, but it's a different kind of story. I would want directors of different types to tell a story in that universe that's
Right.
not tied to the Skywalkers.
Right.
I mean, even though Mandalorian likes Luke Skywalker, I'll spoil alert. You know, it's not like an integral part of that story, right? So I don't think he would have been good for the sequel trilogy, any of them.
Yeah.
But I would love to see what he would do in the universe.
Maybe you'll get a chance of it.
Yeah, I mean, like we're gonna see whatever it is that he's working on. Hopefully. I mean, movies. There's a lot more to movies than
Right.
to get made. But like Zack Snyder is a bigger name now, so I feel like he can maybe probably almost do anything he wants, especially if he's taken an original story.
My sister. Hi.
Oh,
Sorry,
I didn't know you were.
my nephew's alive. Why don't you go over to Lola's, and I'll be there in a minute. I'm on a podcast with.
Oh no, they poo-pooed there.
Okay.
No, we're gonna
Yeah, go over there. And I'll be over
leave
there.
them.
Okay, so anyway, J.J. Abrams, moving on, has was answering a question about the sequel trilogy, and he said, "You never really know, but having a plan, I have learned, in some cases the hard way, is the most critical thing, because otherwise you don't know what you're setting up, you don't know what to emphasize, because if you don't know the inevitable of the story, you're just as good as your last sequence or story or effect or joke or whatever you want to be the leading to something inevitable." Well, I'm glad he learned that.
Yeah, I mean, like he didn't reference Star Wars specifically, but he was asked about the sequel trilogy, and that's what he said. And
yeah,
I think that's been our biggest complaint about the sequel trilogy is a lack of planning.
Yeah.
In that, and a lot of people were like, "No, they had a plan."
Right.
They didn't have a plan.
Yeah.
That was not a plan. If that was their plan, it wasn't a well executed plan.
Right.
And I think while I love The Last Jedi, I'm looking more forward to what he does in a story that's his.
Yeah.
And then have to fit into someone else's narrative, and that's what it kind of looked like. They brought in. They should. I mean, I would have preferred, if anything, they brought in a third director. Like, keep that going, because then it just feels like, it lends credence to the detractors from Rian Johnson. It's like, oh, they had to bring in JJ back to fix it, right? But that's not what he was there to do.
No.
But Rian Johnson had to look at what happened in Force Awakens and tell a story that took place a second later, right? And that's not an easy thing to do, because you're basically you're extending the first movie, and that's what his job was. Whereas JJ had the luxury of a time jump, so he can tell a story without having to tell you exactly what happened in the next moment, which is how Force Awakens ended. Like, Luke and Rey sitting there and like staring at each other, one holding out a lightsaber, and you have to explain what happens after that, knowing what happened before.
Yep.
And if there's no plan, it is kind of like a game of telephone.
Yeah.
Except you have in this case, the guy who says the line, Rian Johnson taking that and interpreting it, but then going back to the original guy, and the guy already knew what he was going to say, kind of. Right. So it just didn't gel. And yes, having a plan for a trilogy. Like you can say that George Lucas didn't have a total plan, but he had an idea. Like he knew where he wanted to go. Like things changed. Do I buy that he knew that Luke and Leia were brother and sister from the beginning?
Right.
No,
Right.
I do not. That's how it worked, and it's fine. But there wasn't a end point. I think that's a problem because I don't think Lawrence Kasdan and J.J. Abrams sat there and said, "We're going to do this movie, and at the end of this whole thing, Palpatine." Because if that was the case, and that was the plan, Rian Johnson also had to build up to Palpatine.
Yeah.
And neither of them did it in their movies.
I know, yeah.
So.
All right. Well, our final story in this film is that in talking with Collider, Kelly Marie Tran reflected on her roles in Star Wars and Brian. And there's a long thing here, but I'm going to cut it in half and say that I went from sketch comedy and doing improv and indie theater to then doing Star Wars, and then from there doing Brian. It's nonsensical, it's miraculous, nonsensical, magic stuff that for me, I just want people to know and believe that you might go through certain times in your life that are hard and difficult. But coming out on the other side of that and having your support group and being with people who believe in you, there's nothing like it in the entire world. And I think for me, moving from Star Wars experiences to then going to Raya has been absolutely miraculous. Raya, for me, is about celebrating the parts of myself that as a child I was taught that I should hide, and what a poetic healing experience that has been. I think that happens with a lot of Asian American people in general, is that we're always taught to hide this certain part of ourselves. So I think that it's great that she has found solace in doing these two roles, and I hope that she continues to do great stuff.
Yeah, I mean, like, as someone, like, I do not hate her character in Star Wars. Like, I actually like her character in Star Wars.
I love her.
Like, I wish, that's another thing, I wish they did more with her character.
Yes, exactly. That's my big
more so
disappointment.
Yeah, more so than John Boyega and Oscar Isaac. I think her character got diminished so much.
Yep. I mean, they could have given her other things to do, and
yeah, and they've given a reason to why that happened, because most of her stuff was with Leia and it didn't work at the end, so they had to cut it out. But like, yeah, her character should have been more important, just so that again, like, the Asian American community can have that character in Star Wars finally.
Yeah.
And I think she herself has handled it publicly a little more gracefully than John Boyega has. But John Boyega is very outspoken. And it's not to say that it's wrong. I just, like, she's chosen to handle those questions, because she gets them all the time, right? Like, with a little bit more grace and humility than I think John does. But I think John's voice is very important. I think he can be that person for that cast, and I do wholly agree with John Boyega on the sequel trilogy and the treating of his character, which, again, this really stems from, I just don't know what the plan was, because there wasn't a plan for his character. I think Rian Johnson took him in a place, right? He's willing to sacrifice himself he found, he was a stormtrooper running away, and then in Last Jedi, he found that he had a cause to fight for.
Mm-hmm.
And then he got relegated to like comedy sidekick in Return of Skywalker, or Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah. All right. Well, we have come to the end of our episode, and if you enjoyed yourself, please consider subscribing. Thank you guys for coming in. ID Hung W, Nika, Nico, Raven, My 5-Star Life. We do this every week at 6:30 Disneyland time, 9:30 Walt Disney World time. So come and join us at any week, even just to stop by to say hello. You can reach us on Twitter at CCC Disney Uni, on Instagram at Castlescapes and Clones, and visit our website at www.castlescapesandclones.com. You can reach me personally on Twitter at LowJav, and on Instagram at Lauren Javier. You can also have a dog if you'd like. And how about you, Rich?
Well, they can reach me dogless at R2Romasanta on Instagram and Twitter.
All right. Well, the opinions expressed on today's podcast are solely our own and do not represent the Walt Disney Company, its subsidiaries, or assets. Thanks so much for joining us, guys, and we will see you later.
Yep. Catch y'all on the flip side.
Bye.